Hi, parents and students. My name is Ms. Charisse. I am the 6th and 7th grade ELA teacher. I'm very glad to be teaching all of the students this year, new and known. I have many 7th graders this year who were my 6th graders last year, so hopefully many of you already know me. A little about me. This is my second year at Francisco Middle School, and my second dive into distance teaching, which has its little intricacies. Like sometimes you might have a child making cameos in your video. This is Kyler, my nephew. He likes to make appearances in my classes a lot, but for right now, he's not going to be disruptive, right? Okay. All right. So that means go. Oh. Thank you. All right. Some ways to navigate my classroom. So I do just about everything. Actually, I do everything through Google Classroom. Students will be able to access their classes here. All of my students are already added to my classroom, so all they have to do is go to classroom.google.com or access it through the waffle once they're signed into Google. And they'll be able to find whichever class period they're in of mine. Let's say your student is in first period. All the classrooms are basically the same. It's just the times and things like that will change. You'll see here, once you get in here, if you click this little caret, it'll give more information. It says when my class meetings are for that specific period each week. All right. So in Classroom, I post announcements, which also get sent an email. In the classwork tab, this is where you're going to find all of the classwork and the assignments. Here, there are a bunch of general class resources, which is where you can find the Zoom Classroom link, which is, I have those Zoom classes at the times listed here in each of those classes. So each class consists of Zoom classroom time and then independent work time or asynchronous time, which is why these times don't really match exactly up with these times. Actually, yes, they do. Sorry, because I listed when my class meetings are. But the actual class times on your schedule don't quite match up. The classes go, for example, first period goes from 9:45 to 11 a.m. And the class meeting only meets till 10:25. The rest is independent or asynchronous work time. So that link is there. Again, if for whatever reason you get booted out of Google Classroom, other teachers, the counselor have access to those. And I also send out invites on Google Calendar, which also contains the Zoom link. So when you use the Zoom link, the first step is to actually follow the link. If that doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't. You will use the meeting ID and passcode. So you will copy this meeting ID, and then if you just go to zoom.us or to your Zoom app and click join a meeting, you can enter that meeting ID, and then it will, in a later screen, ask you to enter the passcode, which for my class is read. Before you join a meeting, though, you will have to sign in with SSO. So once you get to the sign in screen, scroll down and sign in with SSO. It's going to be SFUSD. Without doing that and then logging in through Google, a student will not be able to access any of their teachers' Zoom meetings. So just that information is important. Other important links I have in the resources are, the counselor's information. 7th grade counselor, because I'm in a 7th grade class right now, is Mr. Kaplan, and a link to his email. 6th grade is Mr. Chan. His email is linked in 6th grade classrooms. How to get books through the San Francisco Public Library. Tech support if you're having issues accessing any of the things you need to access, or your iPad's not working right, or any of those things. And then if you scroll down, there's a daily reading log. It's not in my daily assignments because it's every day that students have school, they are expected to read for 30 minutes and complete this reading log. It's the same log, it's just a Google form, so they'll complete one of those every day. And if they miss a day, yes, they can be made up. So by the end of September, students should have completed at least 20 entries. So if you missed a few days, you can always go make them up. Make sure you have 20 entries. And then below that is the most recent date with the assignments. So this is actually for tomorrow. Things aren't assigned yet, but I always put my slide decks in there, and then the day's assignments, and usually video instructions or a recording of the class from that day where I give instructions so students can follow along and learn what they need to do. My slide decks are all very detailed. So they have all of the activities that we're going to do in the agenda, and everything I have is linked either to a later slide in the deck or to the actual assignment. I also have assignments listed always at a slide at the end with links to all of the assignments. So those can be found in here, and they're always up on Google Classroom too. The links actually usually take you to the Google Classroom assignment. So to turn in assignments, students will just click, these are links. Most of the assignments will have something like these, will have something attached, and they'll click the assignment. When they click the assignment link, it will create a copy of that document or slide deck for the student, and they can edit directly in there, and they'll see a little turn in button at the top of their screen, and that's all they have to do to turn in assignments. If it's a link to a form such as the daily reading log or the exit ticket, they'll just follow the link, complete the form, click submit, and it won't show in here. They won't turn it in, but it'll still come to me. I'll still see that they submitted it. If a student is absent, that's another thing that's in my class resources. The parent should email Ms. Padilla. Her email is linked below, padillar@sfusd.edu. Also email me to let me know that you will be absent, just so that I know, and if there's any extra information I need to fill in, I can do that for you. And then most importantly, check Google Classroom to see the assignments that need to be completed. So even if a student is absent, they're still expected to complete the work for that day. Unless it is, there are exceptions if the student is extremely ill, or something like that. Obviously, I'm going to excuse those assignments, but if it is, they weren't able to make the Zoom class that day for whatever reason, it is still expected to do the work. So yes, that is determined on a case-by-case basis. In general, work is expected to be done, so they can still find the instructions and all of the work they need to do here. So finally, in order to check grades, students can look at their grades in Student View. And similarly, parents can look at at their assignments in parent view. So many people, the school should have provided information for connecting that. If you still don't have that account, contact Miss Fierce, contact Miss Castro, Miss Gerhold, your counselor, one of your teachers. Contact someone and let them know that you need help setting up your student view account. If you don't know the right person to ask anyone. They can get you to the right person. So that's really important, especially in distance learning. Knowing who the right person to contact is sometimes can be confusing. So just if you can't find it, like in your class resources or in emails or wherever, just contact someone that you know at the school, and they'll make sure you get to the right person. So that's pretty much it. I sometimes use other resources like Nearpod or other things, but I always link them in my slides in Google Classroom, so students don't really need to do any extra legwork to access those things. All they need to know is to email me and to get into Google Classroom, and everything else is provided there. So hopefully that's helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, kadrmasc@sfusd.edu. So yeah, I wish that we could do this in person, but here we are. So I hope everybody's staying safe and sane. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. All right. Have a great year, everyone.